Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Super Metroid 100% Tournament. I'll be your host here with Eden8, and I am Palmy, and I am excited to see yet another great morning of Super Metroid speedrunning. How about you, Eden?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this qualifier because we're getting to the end of them now since this is like the third to last one, I think. So it's going to be really exciting to see where everyone finishes. Um so yeah, we've got a lot of good runners today. So I'm hoping to see like a lot of good finishes, and maybe we'll also see some exciting route differences on the stream as well. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
Same here. And for those of you who may not have been tuned in to last night's stream, you may notice that we don't have any high tier runners on the stream today. That's because most of them have already gone through their qualifiers and aren't able to go into today's qualifier. So we got some good, interesting lineup of people on stream today, and I'm excited to see what they're going to bring to the table. Most all of them have a time that's pretty close to one another, so we'll see who ends up really bringing up to the top here.
Yeah, like I don't recognize a lot of these runners on the restream. I know MM2 because he's a friend of mine, but yeah, I'm looking forward to see what like these runners will bring us. Like, maybe they'll surprise us. Oh, and they're starting already. So the first thing that we see in your Super Metroids run, whether it be like 100%, any percent, whatever, you'll most likely see the series station, which the runners just sort of run through and basically encounter like Ridley, and yeah, um, it's like an auto scroller here, so yeah, it's fairly
Yeah.
simple. You just want to damage your health down, so yeah.
The usual start. You basically just try and give Ridley the most aggressive pat on the back, and when he's aggressively and rightfully just smacked you upside the head a couple of times, then you just be on your way on out. Pretty simple.
Yeah. Um, and you like when you first get into this game, you can sort of mess up like getting damage down on Ridley just because you're not like used to it. But like, I'm sure these runners are more than capable than doing like doing that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, what kind of series times? Got 44, 41, 39, and a 40 flat. So
Yeah, I'm seeing some pretty consistent times between most of the players here. I'd say it's looking good.
yeah,
Also want to
yeah.
make a quick shout out to our setup volunteer of Trenton. Also goes by name of Trenton 2075 on Discord. And I want to thank him for being our restreamer for the day, as he's going to be slowly getting everything synced up and looking nice and sharp. So
Yeah, restreamers are like the backbone of like like without them we can't be sitting here commentating. So yeah, gotta love those restreamers.
love him to death, and I couldn't agree more, Eden.
All right, so looks like MN2 is going to be the first one who goes into the parlor. Um, not using Moonfall on this section at least. Don't know if he uses it anywhere else. Oh, there it is. There's the Moonfall.
Making it look
Professor's
easy.
also using it, I think.
And
Oh,
Trigger
Shish.
Michael.
Yeah. Shish tried going for it, but didn't quite get it.
I gotta say, it's
Um,
nice seeing this new batch of Super Metroid players pulling out these strats right out of the hat. It took me quite some time to even start with some of these newly found strats, so just seeing new players really get into them is quite a treat,
yeah.
honestly, as an old runner.
Yeah, a lot of runners are like, undecided on Moonfall. Like, if you're a new runner, then you can like choose to learn move fall,
Yeah.
or you can like just pick it up as you go, or like old runners as well have to like sort of learn it or just decide to forego it. So yeah, moonfall is just an interesting concept, especially as like it's a very like a relatively new discovery. So yeah.
Oh yeah,
um
Moonfall's only been around for the last couple if I don't correct me if I'm wrong here, I also don't have Twitch chat up, so I'm probably gonna get yelled at, but it's only been around a couple of years and it hasn't been the newest thing, the hottest thing on the block as of yet, so it's nice to see it.
yeah, for sure.
While we got that going, I guess I should do that thing and actually get Twitch chat up, so let me just get SpeedGaming Twitch chat up here when we got a hot second.
Yeah, I try to have chat open to see if anyone says anything interesting or has like any corrections. Like if I say something incorrect, then it's like I'd rather be corrected than not.
Sometimes chat knows a little bit more than we do, and that's okay. Also, some pretty clean coming back up the parlor. And coming back up the good old... Wow, I'm really losing some words today this morning. Good movement from everyone coming up at 5 minutes, going to bomb tours. Almost everyone staying nice and tight and neat, not just each other. That's what we love seeing on the stream.
Yeah, all runners are fairly like equal. Oh, Sish unfortunately not getting that missile in the door. But yeah, they're all at bombs at the same time, so things are pretty even so far. But it's the routes that they decide to do like later on, and whether they decide to do croc first or like croc later. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what routes the runners choose to do, because there's pros and cons to each route. Like with the late croc route, it's more optimal, but
Right.
you have more risk of like losing time, especially if you like mess up some of that harder movement. Um, yeah, a lot of new runners like to do the early croc route because you have like the advantage of having the grapple beam early, and then you can use that on the Dragon fight instead of shine sparking and just stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's basically up to preference, and obviously if you're a top runner, then you are going to work on that optimal routing a bit more.
I'd say most newer players will probably be a little bit more comfortable with older route strats, as those are a little bit easier to get under the belt. And once you get those under the belt and feel more confident in those, you'll likely end up going for more of the advanced strats and then slowly adjusting your route as your skill improves, which is very nice.
Yeah. Like the most important part of like running is just that you improve naturally and then you learn tricks as you go. So sometimes learning like all the hard tricks or all the optimal strats isn't like the best thing. It's just getting to grips with the game first and then implementing them later on.
Exactly. Building consistency and ultimately it comes down mostly to movement is always good where he's going to be. Once you get all that down, just the strats, the little things, the arm pumping, that's when all those start to matter, is when you start feeling like you got your movement and routing on all of that really secured and on lock.
Yeah, I think in terms of Super Metroid, there are some stuff like early supers that you just sort of have to learn. And then like you have to learn how to do the boss fights and like not die. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's extra. Like Michael there trying to do that reverse muck ball. That's really tricky strat. MM2 tried going for it as well. I wonder if any of the runners will be able to pull it off on screen, but it is quite difficult.
It is, and it just goes to show that's like you said, wanting to get that there. The fact that they're going for the attempt is what really makes this game. It just makes it nice.
Yeah. Like, okay, they're gonna lose like 5 seconds, but it's not a deal breaker. And I think that's the case with a lot of Super Metroid things. Like, there's this like cool movement that you can do, but you can go for this like least optimal way and only lose like 2 seconds or something. Um, and that's what makes like high like top level runners really interesting to watch. But I also like seeing strats and seeing how a runner can adapt to like situations.
Yeah,
Um,
especially
so yeah.
even if you don't know the strats well, it's always worth it to try and build the repetition and the habit of even going for it. Because
Yeah,
sooner or later, you're going to end up getting
yeah,
it right, and you're going to make it, and it's going to be included into your habit. So starting the habit off, even if you don't make it, it's always a good idea.
yeah. Yeah, I agree. That's how a person gets consistent at tricks. Like you're never going to implement something in runs if you're just always going to do it in practice and then like never actually go for it. Um, so yeah, it's pretty cool.
So as we're getting to the end of Green Hill Zone here, I doesn't look like we're gonna have a whole lot of route variants here. I don't think anyone's gonna be confident enough to try and go for power bombs first. It looks like everyone's gonna go ahead and head nice down. We had a lot of good clean Green Hill Zone from all the players.
Yeah, I don't think there'll ever be a route to go top ship first, like go to red ship first, because there's a speed lot item, and going down allows us to get speed. Um, so yeah, it's just kind of like oh, unless we like figure out how to completely circumvent that, then we'll probably see everyone go down. But that'd be an interesting strat.
It would be very nice to see. Ooh, Trigger Michael with that clean 3 super missiles launched nice and smoothly. Gotta love seeing that.
Yeah. All right. Who's on really low health? Michael is. All right. You don't want to die right before Creed. Okay.
Yeah, nothing like having the boss of shame right at you with low health.
Oh.
Not exactly the greatest feeling in the world, but looks like it's gonna be alright.
Yeah, and they didn't pick up those super drops, so they have to go back and kill Mini Crate again. And won't get the quick kill with 3 supers, I don't think. Unless I'm being pessimistic. But
Yeah, you have to have
is it
an
free?
extra missile and charge in there, but you can do it with 3, but it's a little, I'd say it's a lot tighter to try and do, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, proves me wrong. There you go.
yeah. Missile and a charge shot, you're usually alright.
Yeah. I think all runners just got great quick kill. Like I didn't see a stand up, unless I missed something. But looks like pretty consistent trade fights from everyone.
Yeah, same here. I love just seeing all 4 of these runners just right up next to each other. It's such a nice thing to see everyone just right next to each other, staying tight. It would make for a fantastic race if this were a race, but these are just qualifiers. But then again, I digress. Great.
Yeah, and like these runners are still pretty much for room. So like I think this race can be exciting. Like because Hundo is all about like the strats, movement that you like showcase. So it could be determined by routing if these runners choose to go a different route. But we'll see. I think it'd be interesting.
I agree.
Yep. So Shish and Professor making sure that they shoot that little like crab thing. Because you want to kill it and then pop the door open, because otherwise it will lock the door next time you go back in, and then you have to like kill it, and it's just irritating.
It's technically it's the most efficient way to get through that room, because having that door
Yeah.
pre-open means you don't have to go worry, try and open that up by killing that and then wasting valuable, precious time. So it's just a good efficiency strategy for that room.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just how the game works. Like, there's other instances, like, excuse me, in Redshift Attic. Can't say that today. You have to like shoot all the like. I want to say monsters. That's the wrong word. Or shoot all the enemies, and then open the door. But if you like, um, kill them all and then go into the room on the right, then you'll have to kill them all over again if you don't open the door. So it's a very valid strat to open the door first and then go to the right side of the room. So yeah, basically this game's weird. This game is sometimes strange.
Very much so. And I want to say I think I've saw all 4 people get the cathedral missiles. A very easy to miss pack of missiles if you're not paying close attention. So I think everyone got it, but chat could probably prove me wrong on that one.
Yeah, that's the other thing with Hundo. It's that you have to sort of trust yourself to get every item and not miss anything. And if you're like, oh no, I'm really unsure if I got this, then it's like, it can cause a lot of like, that moment of panic. Because you need to make sure you have 100% or your run isn't valid. So it can be like, annoying if you think you've perhaps missed an item.
Absolutely. And I love picking up the aha missiles before going to speed booster. As I said last night, I have labeled those the aha missiles because you're just on your way to go to get speed booster and you're like, ah yeah, speed booster, aha. Missiles.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of missiles like that in the game that's like, oh yeah, those ones, yeah. Um, but that's funny. I've never heard anyone like coin the phrase to be like, oh, aha, I see. So that's interesting.
Shout out to all of us older people out there who, as soon as I said aha, immediately thought of a band.
Um,
Oh, that
rings.
Kago.
It rings a bell.
Accidental Kago by MM2. You
Yeah,
hate to see it. Gotta be careful with those downbacks, or else you might go ahead and Kago right through one of those platforms.
yeah. This room before wave is so irritating. I hate it.
Oh yeah,
Because like,
I can see that because
yeah,
as you're trying to get through the room, one slightly wrong movement and you're either in a spiky pit or you're right back on the floor and you either gotta have your speed booster to get back up or you gotta have some
reset the
really
room
fine-tuned
and go
jumps.
around. Yeah,
Exactly. So it just feel like
it's
a hair
just
trigger room.
it's just unnecessary time loss. So it's just like, I hate it when that room goes wrong.
Absolutely.
Alright, so this is the time where we get to see whether the runners choose to do proc, I believe. Looks like the top 2 runners are skipping out proc. And looks like Trigger Michael is going to do Croc early. Let's see what MM2 decides. Yeah, early Croc. So this is actually really handy because we get to see both runners on the top do the same route.
And
Both
just
runners
with
on
a
the bottom do the
spark.
same route.
Just
Yeah,
with a spark, that was glorious. Love seeing that little spark. It's just a nice little bit of swag, a little bit of flair. And as Eden pointed out, we got the lower two guys actually going for Croc, which we didn't plan that out at all. That's just happened to how it be, and it's looking. I love seeing screens that are that close, that identical. It always looks nice.
yeah. I like seeing how the runners compare to each other, like side by side. But yeah. So yeah, this should be fun for the rest of the game, especially knowing that we now know what route they're choosing to do. So yeah, we get to see some differences on stream, which is nice.
Good route divergence makes for a good entertained crowd, I'd say.
True. Alright, so the top two are doing make their way up through Red Tower, yes. And
Yes.
then make their way to Red Ship. But I'm trying to remember. No, I think they do that later. Alright, I think they're just gonna go to Red Ship and like do some stuff there and get
Yes.
their like power bombs and things. So yeah, that'll
Yep,
be
you got
fun.
it. Also, just have to pull out a little bit of fun commentary here. I'm beginning to see a lot of good movement from Chish, especially bringing out the good D boost, bringing out the shine and sparks. I think the more Chish gets some more practice in them, I think we're going to see yet another good high tier runner in the making here. Their movement has been nothing short of sharp and on point. It's just good to see runners who can just pull off these tricks fluidly in their runs and practice them over and over. I think it's what makes a fantastic foundation for setting yourself up to be most efficient and having those nice high timed and just really nice feel good runs.
Yeah, I also agree. I love seeing like runners like try out this more difficult movement that they try. And they do eventually get better and better until like they have a really good time. Like I watched a Super Mario Odyssey runner and I was really impressed after his movement. So I was like and now he's like 5 or so minutes off record and it's like wow. Like these people who are like just out here doing with crazy movement and like try all the hard tricks, like they might struggle a bit with getting runs, but it does pay off eventually, so yeah.
Agreed. Excuse me. Goodness, I'm already starting to lose my own voice. It's infectious.
I hope it isn't infectious via the internet, but you don't know. Who knows? For context, I have a cold, if you couldn't tell by my voice. So yeah, that's how my day's going.
Ah,
Cosine
yes.
spark, gotta
Yeah,
love
I
that
saw that.
spark.
Yeah, I saw that good old cosine spark and Chish going out for looks like a good ocean fly.
Yep,
Not bad at all. Looks good and looks like they're gonna try and go over the ocean as well. Professional school also opting to go fly over.
yep.
Excuse me, that was the ocean. On correcting myself there, they had initially flown over Missile Lake. That was my bad.
Yeah, I think Ocean Flight is where they go through the door and they
Eh,
fire a super at the door or like a missile or something, and
Basically, when they get over
that allows them
both
to
water
fly over
masses.
both at once. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, my bad.
sorry.
Oh no, not at all. Early in the morning, we're
No,
all still de-rusting off the sleep.
no, that's a term I haven't heard before. Like a sleep de-rust. That's interesting. Oh no, MM2, no.
A little bit of
Okay,
lava there, but it looks
he
like he's
gets
still
the
holding
water
on.
back up. This is fine.
Oh yeah, the recovery strat there is always a nice one to pull out, especially if you kind of know where to get your run up and get just enough momentum to get some jump height and be able to wall jump your way right back up to that
I
ledge. It's always nice. Also,
yeah
the dual fat tunes on screen, getting
yeah.
vibes of
We had
last
the
night, that's for sure.
dual Crocomire, now we have the dual Fantoon. But yeah, I just love how close these runners are. Because I think Shish just got a fast pattern. And Professor got a slow, I believe. So we can see side by side their RNG. But this is kind of dangerous for Shish's health. I know that they have reserve tanks, but I'm still scared.
Ooh, wow. Chish with the good recovery strats. I'm loving this. For that awesome, really hefty prize pool that's coming up, I think Chish is going to be one heck of a contender with a nicely clean, I think that was a 3-round or a 4-round. I would say it was pretty close to a 3-round. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's that good early morning rust
I
out.
think I counted 3, but again, I could also be wrong.
And Professor with a pretty solid 4-round. Not bad at all.
Yeah, Fantoon was pretty red there, so they didn't much to just sort of kill him. And oh boy, Red Tower. No, the Vile Plume, no! No, Red Tower's really annoying. Especially if you like fail the deboost strat or like you fall in like the little Vile Plumes there. Disclaimer, they're not actually called a Vile Plume. They're called something else.
I
Summer Seether, I believe I was told last week.
I believe you're correct, and my old knowledge has left me. I just call them munchers because they just kind of like to give Samus a good little taste, and they're like, "Huh, this isn't dinner," and they just kind of stop and shock and awe that a waiter would bring him such, such a non-tasty meal.
Yeah, I wonder, like, if they are a Samus eater, but they don't, like, fully eat Samus, and it's like, what do they eat? This
Mm,
could be, like, some Super Metroid lore conspiracy.
how do they live? How do they grow? How are they here?
How did we get here? Why do we have to fight Ridley in this random planet? You know?
Suddenly
It's the
starts
small
playing
questions.
the intro to Emperor's New Groove. Suddenly starts playing. Bet you're
You
wondering how
know,
we got
I
in this
actually
situation.
watched that film the other day. Like, I used to watch this show as a kid, and then I, like, was like, you know what, I'm gonna watch this film today, and I did, so I
Gotta
approve.
Gotta love David Spade Cusco. The other thing we gotta love is I love how both MM2 and Trigger are just staying right neck and neck with each other, not letting either really take more ground than the other, staying usually right in the same room. That is such entertainment. Oh, and Shish falling down there.
No, this room is awful to fall down in, especially without that gravity suit.
And just to see that, look how much ground Shish lost just by falling back down there. Shish was in a pretty solid lead, considerably ahead of Professor, and just by falling down, it was just enough time for Professor to get right across and
We'll
swoop
get to
that.
that time. Oh, that I think Trigger Michael just got the ocean fly. Unless I'm being blind, but it looks like an ocean fly.
I unfortunately did not catch it. They may have. I hope they did. And I agree there, Beamer, some bold strats. We got some bold strats going on.
Yeah, like we were talking about earlier, it's really exciting to just see like runners have a go at movement that they've practiced and was like, you know what, let's just go for it. But
Absolutely.
you know, I thought Croc actually took much longer, but it's like we're actually seeing all 4 runners in red ship right now. So it's like, you know, maybe it's not that much time, but I think it's at least like 5 or so minutes.
My estimation isn't that great, but I'd say somewhere in that ballpark sounds about right. I definitely myself need to get back in and do some more good clean runs and watch a little bit more just to get that timing back, but that sounds about right. The fact that everyone's already reconvened up in to wreck ship is really nice. MM2 with a nice clean fight there with a little bit of health loss. I would just say just a little 7 health. With 2
Someone in
round, beautiful.
someone in chat is saving the animals part of this? No, you don't. You don't have to save the animals in 100% item collection, which is what this is. So you can kill them, but in 100% true completion, the best category that we all know and love, you do. Also, Trigger Michael is doing some nice X Factor shots. Unfortunately, they seem to miss it, but
Ooh,
yeah, still
nice safety
manages
super
to
there.
kill Fantoon though.
Fun too. And like OK Beamer said, you save the animals at your own discretion. Uh, Typically not wise to try and poke the bears on those ones. Most all of us have our own feelings on what we do with the animals. But safe to say, whatever you feel is best, or depending on how panicked you're feeling in a run, you can save or choose to not save.
Is this where we start the argument between whether we want to save or kill them?
I think it's more or less an argument of how panicked do you feel, or how much low health do you have when you go fight Mother Brain is, I think, the real
I always
question
look
there.
at my end timer as I enter Parlor, and I'm like, I've got 1 minute left. There's no way I'm saving the animals. Just because I'm scared
Just
that
the
I'll run out of
anxiety
time.
kicks right in, and you're just like,
Yeah.
okay, I want to save the animals, but I only have 1 minute and 30 seconds. I don't know how fast. Like, you just suddenly doubt everything that you are in those
Yeah.
moments sometimes. It happens.
Yeah, like, before I ran Metroid, I was like, yeah, I'm siding with save the animals. And now it's like, no, I'm not risking it.
It's like I'm
So
almost by
it's
a
quite
PB.
funny. Yeah. But I'd much rather have the P than to save the animals. So I'm sorry for betraying everything that I know.
Everything's alright. There's nothing wrong with either or strat. Speaking of things that are either or strats, we got Chich and Professor not forgetting their own strats here of being able to go collect their reserve tank. Yet another item you may sometimes forget if you're in too much of a rush. Ooh, and speaking of too much of a rush, it looks like MM2 may have gotten a little bit carried away on one of his jumps and fell down, but thankfully he already collected his E-tank, so not as big of a deal. A little high vibe
Yeah.
between MM2 there and Trigger Michael as they're exchanging their ways as they're going to go get their E-tank, one going and one leaving. Always nice. And Professor with
Yeah.
his gravity suit, got to love it, and Chish not far behind.
Yeah, Professor's still staying ahead after Shish made that mistake in the E-tank. So just goes to show that, like, if you make one mistake, then it can allow, like, a lot of gap for other runners to catch up.
Absolutely, because once you can get that little bit of leg room, you, your the opponents can usually capitalize on that unbeknowingly. So it's always interesting to see all these mistakes that we can make on stream to try and improve from that. Wow, I lost my words there again. Goodness. Pretty
Being
alright attic
speechless.
by. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. I wasn't really gonna say anything.
It's got to
uh,
be one of those mornings. I was going to say we had some good attic strats from MM2 with Trigger Michael coming up, and hopefully they're doing good as well.
yeah, all runners are pretty much past the point that's like really scary and frightening. Because after you do the spiky room of death, you're pretty much fine for the rest of the run because you just have so many E tanks. So hopefully we won't see any deaths here on out. Let me just check the SRL room and see if anyone's forfeited. Oh no, uh-oh. I spoke too soon. We already have 2 forfeits in the SRL room, unfortunately. So something must have happened there. We don't know what, but must have been something. Also, Shish and Professor are both going for this wraparound shot, which opens the gauntlet door. Shish doesn't have enough health either. I think they were just setting it up and just realized now that they don't have enough health, so we'll have to do the refill. Because, yeah, I don't
Because
think
usually you'll get
140 is
the.
enough.
Yeah, 140 wouldn't nearly be enough. I guess if you had if you were a top tier runner, it would be just barely underneath, or you wouldn't go as far as you'd like. You can make up that gain, but usually when you don't have enough health, it's at least anything about 2 E-tanks, at least for me, it's a little bit too risky. So
Yeah, I think
140,
most
yeah.
runners like having those 2 E-tanks. Because it does take a lot of energy to like break through the first half. And then of course you get the refill, so it's not as bad, but it's still kind of scary. Alright, MM2's about to collect his missiles and reserve, and then Gravity Suit and Trina Vital isn't one behind him.
Yeah, Chish is really wanting to close that gap after realizing his health wasn't where he wanted it to be. He's got a little bit of ground to make up versus Professor in this case. With it looks like MM2 and Trigger, on the other hand, staying relatively close to one another. About the same room, it looks like, so.
Yeah, they haven't really been like that far apart. Like still staying in like 1 or 2 screens apart. Um, Adamantium, who was one of the people who forfeited, says, I died in the E-tank room in Retshit. Oh, that's really unfortunate. That room can be really hard to get across. Um, but yeah, hopefully no more forfeits if all the runners have gotten past the spiky room of death.
One thing I can say, though, is having been someone who's been watching these for a good number of years now, getting to commentate on it, one thing I've come to notice in these more recent races of Hundo, it's just seeing the level of skill even the new runners have. It is amazing to watch how over these years we now have a whole new slew of new runners, and their skill level is honestly very impressive. I can remember my early days where I struggled, even though I'd been playing Super Metroid for a couple of years at that point. So it's really cool to see a lot of new runners picking up the game and just showing us the just natural skill that has been developed over the years from just going for it. It's really nice to see. MM2
Yeah,
going for that corner spark over there. Oh, sorry about that.
that's fine. I was just gonna talk about like new runners because I think speedrunning is very interesting because I somewhat believe that there is some part of like natural talent from being young and like maybe growing up with video games, so you're used to like playing them and stuff. But I also believe that there is a lot of like practice, like even if you're not good or not familiar, I think you can still like get to a similar level. Um, but yeah, I think it is. Like seeing like runners like these on screen does like make me think, maybe there is a lot of like just natural skill involved because
Oh,
of all the strats. Yo,
yo, Professor's School with the Mission Impossible. Let's go. That was beautiful. And MM2
yeah,
going in with a low health. We got some. Ah, man, these runners just never cease to impress me. That was glorious.
yeah. Someone asked what MM2 just did. Basically, you can do a something called a wraparound shot, which I think basically you your shot and the like bottom right of the screen, and the game sort of gets confused a bit and causes it to shoot on the other side of the screen. And it allowed him to get a shine spark and shine spark all the way through without being obstructed by the door. But yeah, that Mission Impossible shot that Professor did, it's really precise, and hard to get. So yeah, that was cool.
Seeing Chish and Professor just staying neck and neck, they are definitely contenders. I love just seeing these are going to be our future top runners, and it's just so rewarding to see them at that skill level already. Loving it. Mission Improbable. Christoffel couldn't agree more, man. Mission Improbable, absolutely.
Well, improbable implies that it will never happen, right?
Impossible implies it'll never happen. Improbable means it's very unlikely. So
No,
it's
I
a
thought
step
it
up.
I thought it was the other way around. Like improbable is like it will never happen, whereas impossible means that it can still happen. I don't know.
I don't know either. It's the morning. I need coffee.
Give me coffee, Pog.
I need my morning grog. And Chish getting a nice clean super off to go ahead and avoid our Spo there with Professor underneath our charge area to go get that nice sweet E-Tank. Speaking of E-Tank, MM2 getting his E-Tank and getting his
Yeah,
follow-up supers from the room behind, and Trigger not too far behind, making up some ground there. I'd lost a little bit of time having to try and clarify some strats, but it's looking good.
yeah. I think Trigger had a bit of issues on the Gauntlet wraparound shot, maybe. And I think this is pretty much like the furthest behind we've seen like the runners, like but they're still pretty close. So that
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, Chish and Professor, even though they're now a good 1, 2, 3 rooms apart, they're still relatively tight. As I was saying yesterday night, is about 40 minutes into the run, usually when you start seeing, if you have multiple runners on screen, that's when you really start seeing where the amount of mistakes have really begun to come into play, and that's where you really begin to see that divide, is those mistakes and those time losses really begin to add up around this point in time. So any little thing, any little mistake really is shown in the later half of the game. All right. We got MM2 up there. Let's see if he can get the Mission Impossible. I would love to see 2 Mission Impossibles. Let's go. I believe. I believe. Ah, not happening, but that's all right.
Yeah, that shine spark into those missiles on Main Street is kind of hard to kind of hard to get the visual cue for because it's so awkward. Like if you're on pixel like 2 left, then you'll get hit by the platforms. If you're on pixel 2 right, then you just won't get it. So really annoying to set up, but gets it first try.
Mm-hmm. And I'm feeling a little bad for Chish over there. Is got a little bit mind game by his own shots and accidentally reclosed one of the gates that he had just opened. So I had to take a hot second to reopen that gate, costing him a little bit more time, increasing that gap between him and Professor. Trigger seemingly caught up to MM2, who capitalized on some of MM2's slightly inefficient movement there. So we'll see if we can get another. Oh no, looks like we can't get another impossible. At least we got one. I'm happy, I'd say.
Yeah, it's very rare that you actually see runners do that strat because it's just so hard. Um, and I believe it's also hard to like actually save time with it as well, so kind of risky to go for.
Strat can be buffered. Ah, thank you, Chris. Nice super by Michael there. And MM2 going to grab his extra E-Tank.
Yeah. What's away the best location in the game? No, I'm kidding, it's Sheptool. We all know it's Sheptool, so... Alright, so what Professor's gonna do now is gonna get all the beach items first before Bot Wound. So he's going to go to Watering Hole and then I think he'll fight Bot Wound. So yeah, you just get these items at the start of the Meridia, but they can be quite hard to sort of miss, especially if you have like muscle memory, because you'll just always like go down instead of going up. So
Oh yeah.
someone in chat is running. Well, of these four runners, it may look like the top two are a lot ahead, but they are doing a different route. So, Professor is ahead on the restream, but he is doing Croc later, whereas the bottom two runners have already beaten Croc. So, we won't know until the routes sync up, basically.
Exactly. Yeah, routes are there was a pretty decent amount of route divergence. The top two took a different route initially than the bottom two runners, at least on our restream here. And then both Chish and Trigger had some slight hiccups that have put them slightly farther behind than their respective counterpart. So a lot of
Yeah.
divergences ended up happening, and a lot of bit of split screen action happening because of just some slight time losses that stacked up over time. Still good to see. Ooh, and the bonk from MM2. That line up on that plant has to be pretty spot on. You're a little too far over
Yeah.
one side, and you get the bonk.
Yeah, that's its second try. Yeah, that's the kind of thing that I was talking about before with Professor. Um, it's quite hard to align yourself, and I honestly don't know how the devs were like, yeah, people will figure out where to stand. But yeah, it's not very lenient at all.
Not at all. I will say, however, looking at Professor, really keeping up some good pacing here. Not the fastest in the world, but man, they are sure doing a fantastic job. Just rolling through the punches. He's gained quite a considerable lead over Chish now when they were synced up for quite a while. So it's good to see Professor having a little bit more breathing room, having been behind for so much of the early part of the run.
Yeah, because we've seen these runners like really show off their movement and like all the strats that they've like been practicing. So we can see now, more than before, like just how much difference like it makes. Of course, we've also seen some like not mistakes, but just like some getting some time like trying to get the tricks. So that has also like made the difference between the runners.
Mhm.
But it's still anyone's game. Like a lot of stuff can still happen. Like Sheptool Ice Clip, for example, that can be one that trips a lot of people up with multiple tries. So
Ah. Oh no! Oh, Professor, you hate to see it accidentally used his spark shoot. Oh, that hurts. And to also to get you there, Baku man, you notice that two runners have grapple beam. That's because they took a different route early on. They decided to opt in to go do Croc first before heading up the red tower. So they're gonna have those two items initially, and then the runners on the top of the screen, the two top ones, will have to go and grab those items later.
yeah, there's a bit of a different route divergence. Like the top runners are trying to do the more optimal route with Croc later, which obviously has the grapple beam. Whereas the bottom two runners did Croc earlier, so they obviously we'll be doing it later. Yeah, there is a bit of a difference. Like, Shush and Professor have one less E-Tank, I believe. So yeah. So looks like M2 is about to fight Bot Boom while Shush is in the Dragon fight, trying to do those X Factor Shine Sparks. That's a pretty cool like intermediate strat. It can be quite hard to get the positioning of the X Factor. I think the Shine Spark is actually kind of hard as well because you can either 2-tap or 3-tap, but get straight on down eventually.
I just feel so bad for Professor losing that spark. That kind of hits you right in the chest when you lose it. Definitely.
Yeah, that spike suit. I don't think it matters that much time over like just space jumping across Colosseum, but you know, there's other things to worry about, like this ice clip right now. Oh, okay, that was the fastest ice clip I've ever seen in my life. Never mind. Ignore what I just said.
Yeah, spike suit considerably more difficult and then to maintain and use it. A lot more difficult than that ice clip.
I
But
mean,
at
I
least
can
you...
do the ice clip. I can't get a spike suit, but what I mean to say is there's no backup to getting this like ice clip. So because he doesn't have grapple beam, and then if he's just on the ice clip forever, then there's no alternative. He has to keep doing ice clip. Whereas with the spike suit, he can just space jump. So I don't think it really matters that much.
The Shag Tool coffee break. Always gotta love it.
Who doesn't love Shattool? And the best item, PPOSB. Oh, we don't have the emote. The spring ball.
Spring Ball?
Spring ball, Pog.
Anybody in chat who remembers that lovely bit, you're old.
Yeah, no idea.
Dilmorph. Ooh. Michael having a bit of a shaky fight here with the Sneck. Getting his last super off. Was that wild? Hey, someone knows. Someone knows.
Let's say M2 for the grapple kill and Dragon. Probably not that comfortable with the shine spots, maybe. I just felt like the grapple would have been faster, which is also fair.
I don't think either of us mentioned, but it looks like everyone has finally reconvened into Meridia finally, even though we're all in different rooms, we're kind of all back in the same area. It's nice to see.
Yeah, after that part when we saw them all in Red Ship and they kind of all like made their own different ways, everyone was in like different rooms, but now they're all in Meridia. It's all coming together.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together. Can't quite
We'll
do my
probably
crowd voice.
we'll probably see these runners together in Norfair as well, just because Norfair is just such a vast area as well. Alright, we have another shuttle check here. You love to see it?
It's just good old Thanos watching good old Shag Tool go for a quick dig. It's like watching your own child in the sandbox. You're just like, that's great, honey.
Yeah. I like to believe that Shaptool is someone's child. Like, it's a robot, but it's had like this complex background of like growing up on planet Zebes, and now there's these random pirates here. And you just want to help Samus be guided towards the spring ball, you know?
Shactles just wanted to show off its digging skills. It's like, hey, look, person, look what I can do. They're just excited. Speaking of spring ball, Chish getting their spring ball, and Professor making their way down to go to the sand pit, the left side sand pit, if I'm not mistaken. And I think Professor will be the first one likely out of Meridian on his way to go defeat the Ridley boy.
Yeah, the pelican.
The space pelican.
Yep. Oh wait, we got another shuttle check here. I think MM2 did the intended strat of using the grapple beam there rather than doing the ice slope, which is fine. Ice slope can be hard to get consistent there.
Oh yeah, ice scope can be a little bit finicky if you don't like having to set it up, or if you're just not quite used to the freezing frame to get it up on. Totally understandable.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing about the ice flip is getting the like snap in the right position and like in the right like way. Because if it's the wrong shape, then you can't really click with it, and then if it's not in the right position, then you're not high enough or whatever. So yeah, it's just fine to use grapple there.
Yep, and looks like we finally have all, I want to say nearly all 4 runners. Actually, no, I believe Trigger's still waiting to go get his spring ball.
MM2 just killed Shatool. Did you just see that?
He just wanted
I'm
to show you
upset.
his digging skills. Oh.
How could you?
Well,
That
it was the
someone's
return trip,
child.
so it could have just been an imposter Shactol, so maybe did us a favor? I don't know.
No, it was murder. Cold-blooded murder. I hope he watches this back and hears me say that.
Anyway, we got Chish over there making his way back out. Got his plasma beam on his way to go. Professor making sure to go and grab his Kraid missiles. Good time to go and pick him up. Great time not to forget them. MM2 making his way to go get his plasma beam. And it looks like Trigger cleaning up his Meridia, just getting onto his right side sandpit here. So you can kind of see the spread of these 4 runners on screen with Professor, at least for our restreamers, Professor taking the lead, just not far behind. MM2, a good chunk behind that, and Trigger in the bring up the rear here.
Yeah, and Trigger Michael also doing the Shatool in the intended way, and it will be the last time that we see Shatool on screen, so that's sad. I'll miss
Shactol got to
Shatool
show off
forever.
his digging abilities to 4 people today. I think he's happy.
Well, technically it's like 21 people. Well, with 2 forfeits, so 19.
Just getting his left side sandpit all nice and cleaned up, and Professor really speeding up his endgame here, getting his missile pack on the side, and then making his way to the
that
other
was a
side.
deboost.
Yeah, it was a fantastic deboost. I gotta say, Chish and Professor School are really pulling out all the stops and bringing out some really fantastic gameplay. Really looking forward to seeing if they're going to be able to make it into the top spots for the qualifiers. Loving to see it. Hey, and there's Trigger getting his spring ball, so that's 4 spring balls acquired in the stream bank. I love it. May Shaq
Who could
rest in
forget
peace.
Spring Ball? Could you imagine like getting 99% and it like the last thing that you missed was just spring roll. That'd be upsetting. Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought Professor did like the lava spark because he got that deboost there, and I was like, "Yo, lava spark!" But then I realized I'm being dumb. Lava spark's probably not even faster for this route, because I don't think it's faster for old route, so I don't see it being faster for this route.
I cannot confirm either way. I actually would assume it would be because just faster tech is just always faster. Faster is usually better. But then again, I don't know the specifics enough to actually have a good
Yeah,
say so.
the thing
So I'm a little
is,
lost on that one.
yeah, the thing is in new route is you don't have very many items to do lava dive with. You've got high jump boots, and that's it. And speed, so you kind of have to do it. Whereas in older out, you have like space jump and stuff like that. So it's yeah, I think it is faster to space jump. But yeah, looks like Shish is now doing Crotch Speedway, but probably not actually going to Crotch. No, falls all the way down the room, gets the item. Dismissals are very irritating, to say at least.
Absolutely. Just not quite the thing you want to miss. Thankfully, Professor didn't miss his missile pack up there, not dropping through that nasty crumble floor that trolls so many people. So good to see he got
Yeah.
it. Trigger getting their plasma beam and heading on their way out, and MM2 I think is done with his cleanup, so I think he is on his way out. He is almost missing the exit there, kind of forgetting that he gets to drop one more bite. He loves Smurdia so much, just wanted to stay and have another glass with the boys before heading on out. I can respect that.
To be honest, I don't really like Meridia, so like if I wanted a glass of boys, that's how you put it, then I'd probably do it in Norfair. Just
I
because
can
I
understand.
like Norfair a lot. I don't know, Norfair room design is the best in the game. Don't at me, I'm right.
The irony being Professor being in the worst room in the game, which happens to be a Norfair. No comment there.
The worst room in the game or like the best room in the game?
Considerably.
Getting the generic mouse missiles definitely doesn't like anyone whatsoever. Uh, but yeah, I think there's doing left some pit. Yeah, I'm right, pod.
Nice. Just desperately trying to make his way through in here, doing the ever risky bouncy ball strat off the crumble blocks,
Yeah,
but still getting his missile.
that's kind of monka-esque.
You get a little bit of that anxiety as you make that first bounce. Always feel it every time.
But yeah, Golden Frizo isn't too bad. You just stand on like the specific spot of where like the foot is, and then you just crouch and shoot upwards. And yeah, that's basically how you do the fight.
Cheesiest fight in all of Super Metroid, don't at me.
True.
It's like, even Spo, you kind of have to be gimmicky even with his low health. But that one, for Gold Frizo, as long as you know where to sit, you can just crouch and just, just cruise and take your time.
Yeah, Golden Frizo is pretty chill. It's like doing Bomb Frizo, but with extra stuff in it.
Absolutely. Professor looking fantastic on the soups. Plenty to go in to go kill the Space Pelican. 27 and full beam combo. Definitely can make quick work of this fight. Trigger good on him for not forgetting to go grab the grade missiles. MM2 making his way to the entrance of Lower Norfair, which is fantastic to see. And Shish heading up to the Mickey Mouse missiles to go get some good missile package.
Yeah, the mouse missiles, like Professor did, which is good because these are very easy to forget. It's also very easy to fall down in the room with the crumble blocks and then have to do worst room in the game again, so that's sad.
Ridley finally taking his death there, giving Professor a little bit of extra grief. I think he was dead early on, just had the little extra remaining health and had some AI loopage going on, but thankfully got through it. Rough fight, but still doing good.
Yeah, gets rewarded with another energy tank. I think that these runners are pretty sick of seeing these energy tanks now though. Number two is also going down here. I think this phrase was coined by a commentator just to say a lavatory, because the lava goes down and it's lava. So I think that's a funny room name to call it.
Agreed.
And also not missing out on these missiles here. So that's pretty good. Don't want to miss those.
NICKEYMOUSE. MM2 making this GT fight just look simple. Once you know that spot, it's always just a great fight. Professor quickly making his way out of Lower Norfair, with Chish just barely making his way in. Professor has gained quite a considerable amount of time over Chish. Gotta love it. Michael picking up his pace a little bit, already to the entrance of Lower Norfair, looking good and snazzy. Was going for the D-boost, didn't quite get it, but it's looking alright. And Chish facing off with the Space Pelican himself. Little thin on supers, but at least good on health. I think he'll be able to pull this one out nice and clean out of the clutch. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I mean, once you like get used to the Ridley fight, Ridley becomes quite predictable, and usually you can just sort of kill him without any issues. I think the hardest part about Ridley is doing it fast because you see these any percent runners to try and make Ridley like pogo so you can just shoot straight upwards at him instead of getting the swoops. Um and I don't know how they do that, but yeah, it's like I guess that's just the hard thing about bosses in this game is just to make sure that you are killing them like fast. So otherwise it's quite difficult otherwise.
Absolutely. To
But
expand on that a little bit, I agree completely there. It's Ridley AI manipulation, I think, is the hardest thing about that fight itself. Actually fighting Ridley without AI manipulation, it's once you're this stacked, it's pretty child's play. But doing it fast, doing it efficiently, and getting that AI manipulation just the way you need it, that's where the real struggle comes in. Is you have to not only keep yourself alive and go with a fast-paced fight, but you also got to know and keep in mind the strats you've been practicing. So it can definitely tying in the rest of the things you know on that fight can definitely make it a hard fight. With Trigger
yeah.
making his way to the Gold Torizo fight, the simple fight, and MM2 almost his way to the Space Pelican, with Professor just now making his way right on out and heading out his way. I think he is good to gunzo. He's just got a little bit of cleanup left to do, and then he's on his good old way to terrain. And Shish not far behind, picking up some good pace too.
Yeah, I was about to say, isn't it not fair reserve Frock? So yeah.
That's right.
Not too long now for these runners. If they want to get that cut-off point, I believe it is 1 hour 30, so they have about 20 minutes to finish up here to get their spot.
I'd, I'd say
Why
they'll
am I
be all right.
speaking? Okay, I'm fine. I swear.
Bless you.
Okay, so my cold side. I think these runners could definitely make the 130 mark. I believe they just. I'm gonna sneeze again. I'm so sorry.
You're all right. It's
So
getting to be that
I
time of year.
I believe that so the top runners just have to kill Croc and then clear up Brinstar and get X-ray and then do Torian. So yeah.
That's correct. With the bottom two only having to do their bit of Brinstar cleanup, getting X-ray, and getting out of dodge. So I think they're going to be well within the 130 mark. A little tight, but I think they've got it down to a science.
Yeah, I think MM2's PB is around a 130. So if he's on like around pace, then he should be able to get there, hopefully. I don't know about the other runners. Looks like Shish and Professors are in good shape though. But I think Trigger Michael is a bit behind, but like he's like a whole Ridley fight behind, so and there's not too much of this run left, so I don't know if he'll be able to catch up, but it's not
Yeah,
over.
yeah. 20 minutes is
And
a
there are,
bit tight, but it'll be pretty good to see. I think they'll be all right, maybe.
yeah, we still have all the other people in the race time room as well. The SRL room as well, who we can see finish as well. But no spoilers for those whenever they finish until we see at least one person finish on the screen here. So yeah, that'll be fun.
Gotta love that pre-opening up by Chish there. I think that's a pretty smart move. I think you could maybe save that power bomb until a little later, but either way, good on at least pre-opening that so you don't have to worry about it later.
Looks like Michael is the last one to start this Ridley fight up. Uh, he seems to have a lot of ammo, but probably won't need it because I believe one super does as much damage as a charge like ice wave plasma combo. Usually I like to just like fire Ridley full of supers when he's pogoing. Just because I think it's faster, but I also know nothing about this game, so okay, I don't know nothing, but you know, what do I know? So I don't know. I
And
guess it's just preference. But he
it
didn't use a single super there, so
it can be a good trade-off. For instance, rather than needing to either go back to the ship for a refill or trying to farm up extra supers, some people will usually just opt to use the beam and cut down the time there at Ridley rather than farming or trying to get more ammo. So I can totally
yeah,
understand that. Either way, it kind of balances out.
yeah, I guess I didn't really consider like the ammo side of it. Um, but yeah, they're gonna have 230 missiles at least. I don't think supers are top priority. If you have zero, is probably rare, but it can extend your time touring by quite a bit.
Oh yeah, Chish on, for example, Chish like there with the single super. Not exactly what you want to be seeing, but then again, it's kind of luck of the drop. So with the one remaining super, you're probably going to hold on to that a little tightly just in case you have another door or two you need to go and throw open, or if you just need a little bit of insurance. With Professor, on the other hand,
Yeah.
with good 15 supers and able to easily replenish, 15 supers I'd say is pretty comfortable for being your end game.
Yeah, I guess they still need to get climb supers. Uh, so could that could be alright, but the drops that you're going to be getting from the Metroids probably won't be supers, just because RNG in this game likes to heck people. So yeah.
Definitely. Chish picking up his grapple beam now, and Professor on his way to go grab the X-ray visor, as people lovingly love to call it. Looks like Triggers is finally getting his way right on out of Lorne Warfare. A little slow on the time there. Not sure if he's going to make it because 15 minutes at this point is a little bit tight for what he has left to do, but I'm still remaining hopeful. MM2 really making some good work there. Still cutting it a little tight on time, but man, it is looking fantastic.
Yeah, looks like Professor's just gonna space jump through out this room, and because of his combo with the screw attack, he doesn't have to worry about hitting the waivers, and then falling down. So he can just like YOLO it across and pick up the X-ray beam.
Agreed. Good on Trigger for remembering that power bomb. That sometimes it's that little loop out there is easy to forget if you're a 90% runner. So it's always good to be able to at least see that on screen and remember, hey, I gotta go pick up the power bomb missiles in the upper top. Always good to remember.
Yeah. So now Professor's just going to do their Bryn cleanup here. Uh So this is all the items at the start of the game that we like couldn't access previously because they're mainly like power bomb like blocked, so gonna see him do that now.
We're getting to my
Meanwhile,
favorite two missile items in the game. I'm excited.
why do you like Billy Mays the most?
Absolutely, having grown up with Billy Mays on the TV, always, always one of my favorite things ever. It's just like, you're gonna get a missile pack, but wait, there's more! For $19.99, you too can get your second missile pack for absolutely free. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah, so this E-Tank that Professor's getting, you can technically get it earlier, but it's really difficult, and it's something that you'll probably only see in like a high level RBO route or in a Taz run or something like that. But yeah, just getting these two missile packs here. Looks like MM2 is also going to do his Bryn cleanup. It's actually interesting that MM2 is ahead of Shish now. Because now that the routes have sort of diverged, we can see like how far these runners are from each other. Yeah, MM2 seems to be ahead going into the cleanup here.
Yeah, I don't think I would have pegged that, but now that we're seeing on screen, you are very much right. MM2 actually really made some good pacing. It was so subtle I didn't even catch it, so it's really nice to see.
Yeah, him and Professor are like they kind of just did a high five there, so not far apart at all. Which I think is really cool. Um, But yeah, MM2 just did the route that he's comfortable with because maybe he doesn't like doing tool ice clip or doesn't want to do Drake on Shine Spark. So just stuck with the old truck route, and it's paid off because he's put off some impressive movement and skill this race. Um,
Professor making it look easy.
yeah,
Love seeing that
very
strat
clean
as well.
movement there.
With the Behe Spark no less too. Always satisfying to watch.
Yeah, and should be nearing on the final missile pack now. Uh, so yeah, I'm gonna make the joke now before you can make it. Taking a trip to the dentist. 230 missiles, haha. I hate
Uh,
whoever introduced me to that joke.
I actually have never heard that joke, and you've just made my day. Out of all the years I've gotten to play in here and commentary this game, that's a first. So thank you for making my day that much better.
You're welcome. Now you can use it on other commentary matches.
Some good dad
So
jokes. When Trigger
yeah,
getting that little bit of a grab you onto the spikes, not what you want to see when you already are feeling that far behind. Runner's just got about 10
yeah,
minutes left.
yeah.
Sounds like a
Sounds like
cross-product
cross-product
joke.
joke. Listen, I didn't get it from him. All right. Honestly, it's more like an Azure pun, to be honest.
I think they're
God,
just
the amount
good
of puns I've
jokes.
had to heard. Yeah. It looks like Professor's the first one to get into G4. So if he completes Torian in 10 minutes or less, then he might make it for the cutoff. And MM2 is about to get his final missile pack as well at the dentist. I'm just gonna say it's called that now.
Dentist missiles.
So
I like
yeah.
that. I think we should now dub that the dentist missiles. For 100,
Yeah.
at least for 100% route.
Yeah, and gone are the days of 230 missiles. Cavity missiles, dental plan, going to the dentist. There you go. Lots of different names.
Cavity missiles, dental plan. Love it. Dental plan. I think that's even better. Let's go. I'm with you, Blessingham. Trigger Michael
I
getting
just had
his
a
billion
great
gold.
idea.
Oh, go ahead.
Shish is about to take out some insurance because he's about to go to the dentist. Eh?
Eh,
No, okay.
I'll give you a slow clap on that one. I can give it.
Okay, thanks. Can we stop with the awful jokes now? Anyone else have bad jokes?
The only bad
They're
joke
gonna
I
drill
see
us jokes into
here
our heads? No?
is only bad joke I see here is none. There are no bad jokes. I love all of you. Anyway, MM2 getting down to his terrain with Chish on his way, not too far behind, and Trigger, thankfully, looks like he's good to clean up. Only got 8 minutes left. I don't know if he's going to be able to cut it close, but I think he might have a chance if he can pull off some pretty fast movement in this late part of the game.
I actually wonder if MM2 is on PB pace because I think he could like finish because I think his PB is a 1:30:15 or something. So I think he could get a sub 1:30 here with a really nice Torian. So that could be something to look out for. I wish
Absolutely.
I knew. I wish I knew more about the runners' PBs. Like That'd be such fun knowledge to be like, yo. But yeah.
Well, I guess in which case it's a fantastic time to shout out to these players and their respective Twitch channels of which they are broadcasting from. If you'd like to see more on their PBs, go ahead and check them out on their respective Twitch channels, as well as check out the different pages on SpeedGaming and Speedruns Live to see more good records and info. If you're liking what you're seeing on stream, do be sure to give a nice follow to SpeedGaming and our other sister channels, SpeedGaming 1 through 6, as well as our other foreign language channels if you were there. How to make that plug makes me feel better.
Yeah, I agree. Follow the runners. They are, they put on a good show for us today. They were very close up until like Meridia, so it was just like crazy to see. So yeah, definitely check them out if you want to see more of their runs and stuff like that, because they are pretty good runners.
Agreed. MM2 opting not to do baby skip and opting rather just to get his health drained immediately off the bat. Totally okay. If you're not FMB doing the jumps, you might as well get your health lost early on to get it all out of the way quickly. And the Lunchable that is Mother Brain taking Samus out to lunch with her less than delectable assortment of foods, which Samus was vehemently happy to definitely not be happy to eat.
Yeah, looks like Professor is going to do the stand-up glitch, and so that he can produce these shots into Mother Brain throughout this cutscene. So
I do hope he remembers to stand up at the right point or get off the ground, or else he's going to be stuck.
Yeah. It is quite dangerous.
Okay,
oh, that was really close. I saw the
spooked.
frame. But yeah, you can get soft locked here, unfortunately. So yeah, it can be quite difficult. Alright, looks like MM2 is also going to start his Mother Brain fight.
Ooh, Professor putting in some good damage. I think he may have it. And he does! Look at that. Good job, Professor, for getting that fast Mother Brain kill.
Yep, GG on that Mother Brain kill. That was pretty fast and speedy. So yeah, we'll see what time he gets, and if the run is verified. Because, like we said earlier, 100% relies on it being 100% at the end of the run. You can go back to a previous save point, but I haven't seen any saves these races, so let's hope that they have collected all the items necessary to make sure that their run is verified. Looks like she's just starting the Mother Brain fight now.
Yeah, Chish lost a lot of time having some struggle with that Zeb skip, and so even Trigger is getting pretty close to catching back up. So everyone kind of shoring up the lines there, looking good. Professor just doing a fantastic job getting on out.
Alright, nearly there. Is he gonna save the animals?
Oh, faked us out. Faked us out. That's rough.
Alright, GG's to Professor for finishing first out of these restreamers, but not first on the overall SRL room. So gonna mark him as done. Oh, you already did that. Lol.
Yep, I got it on tap.
So now we can reveal what times everyone else got. So,
If you'd like to do the honors.
Aussie 101 finished in first place with a 119.53, GG. Second place was Hotaruby with a 120.04. I think that's a PB for Hotaruby. I might be wrong. Third place is C.W with a 120.12. So that was kind of close. Asher finishing in fourth with a 121.27. Fuchsia finishing in fifth with a 122.21. Rosu 123 with a 125.30. Toasty with a 125.43. And eighth is Cristofolo with a 125.46. So just finishing 3 seconds behind Toasty there. And then, of course, Professor with a 127.33.
Yes.
So yeah, GG's to everyone who finished. Oh, still have more things to say. So we've got Glacio with a 126.04 and Metroid MST with a 129.02. So GG's
Not
to everyone
bad.
there.
Cristofolo. Oh, sorry.
My apologies.
Thanks, Chris. And thank you, Professor. Thanks for showing us the love. If you guys are viewing, make sure to go ahead and follow Professor. It's fantastic. Just awful, though. Ouch. I was saying that way too, lol. Even B, he has to admit, it's kind of hard not to say it. But we still love you equally.
Yeah,
Fantastic finish by MM2, by the way. Oh, you were going to say that?
Yeah, finishes 12th. With the dot done of a 129.42, so maybe a bit delayed on the dot done or the timer was desynced. Maybe both. Who knows?
And it looks like both Chiss and Trigger may not actually get below that 130, so it looks like they're not going to get to that time to beat, but it's still nice to watch them finish out the end of their run anyway.
Yeah, looks like MM2 was the last to make the time to beat, which I believe was a 130.40 or something. I can't remember though. It was like 90 minutes ago, alright? But yeah, I think it was a sub 130 pretty much. But yeah, GG's to Sish.
Don't forget your dear forces.
Yeah. Remember, you have to make sure these runners are verified.
Professor with the 100%. Good
nice.
work. Verified. Gotta love it. Entering the results as you speak. Wow, thank you, Tracy, for being very quick on that.
Alright. So hopefully we'll get some confirmation on all the runners who have participated.
I will say, I gotta admire Trigger for, even though not making the cut, still finishing out his run like a champ, knowing that he did his best. So shoutouts to all the runners, those who made it and those who didn't. Good on everyone for finishing up. Still a fantastic and solid run for Trigger as well. Loving it.
Yeah, these runners were very entertaining. We got to see a lot of cool strats. And of course, we got to see these runners who you may have not heard of before. So I think that's really cool that we get to see a bit of a diverse casting on these like qualifiers. And yeah, we get to know more about these runners as they show off their runs. So that's pretty cool.
Professor not being able to touch his coffee the whole run, and I feel that. Trigger, I'm glad he's going to be running more tomorrow. Loving for that look back. He's going to get it good.
1:30:17 is the time to beat. Thank you, Tracy. So the top 48 as it stands is a 1:30:17. Um, so if you think you can beat that and you're not already done any qualifiers, make sure you sign up for them because the last two qualifiers are tonight and tomorrow, I believe. I hope I'm not getting that wrong. Um, so yeah, make sure if you want to get in on this tournament, then yeah, sign up. Cause yeah, the qualifiers will be done very, very soon. But yeah, GG's to all these runners on screen. Decalled finished just before Trigger Michael with a 1:32:55. And yeah, of course, Michael with a 1:33:33. So yeah, GG's to everyone.
Once again, I'd like to go and offer a good shout out to all of the runners. I'd also like to give yet another shout out to Trenton for being our restreamer for today, being able to handle all of the stream cropping and what we needed for the evening. Really appreciate his time there. Also appreciating you, Eden, for taking the time this morning to come and commentate with me. It's always a welcome pleasure. And if
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for being here and putting up with me.
anytime, I'm always happy to. Be sure to give Eden a follow. She's probably very
No,
more fantastic than I'll ever be.
yeah, follow me if you want. I speedrun this game sometimes. No promises. Do you run anything? Like, do you stream a lot?
I am going to be running in the randomizer tournament for SpeedGaming Live, which you should totally check
Oh.
out. SpeedGamingLive2020.com to go see some more info on that.
Yeah, the randomizer tournament looks really fun. I need to rejoin that server again because I left it. So that'll be fun. But yeah, I think we're just gonna see Michael's restream to confirm 100%, and then I think that's it.
That sounds like a good one.
Yep.
Final blood. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, no one else has dot duns just yet. So yeah, there's still people running and such.
Indeed. Once again, also want to thank Tracy M for being just all on this, just always here with every race, just doing a fantastic job. Please be sure to give her a like and a follow, and give her thank yous if you're in the Discord. She always runs a fantastic organization and does her best. Oh, and thank you, Christofalo, and you guys are all awesome. Once we confirm this 100% here, we'll go ahead and
Yeah.
we will call this here.
Yeah. Just before we end, we do have a few more dot duns. We got Word Spoken in 16th with a 1:36:02. Got Brunera in 17th with a 1:36:25. And Crustacean 7 in 18th with a 1:36:38. So yeah, GG's to everyone. And yeah, let's just see this hopefully 100%.
And survey says 99%. Just kidding.
Well, if it says 99% now, then that's mean. Okay, 100. Phew. Alright. So, yeah, I think that's it from us. So, yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and thank you everyone for participating. This was super fun. So yeah. Thanks.
Yep, we got.
Guys.
Indeed, thank you very much. We got more qualifiers coming up soon, so stay in the Discord if you haven't joined it already, and stay tuned, and we'll see you for the next round of 100% tournament for Super Metroid. And with that, this is Palmy and Eden signing off, and we'll see you in the next mission. Take it easy, everybody.
Bye.